To make sure it's probably my secure, has no cracks, no dents, no leaks. I'm checking the cap to make sure the cap is secure and tight. Okay? I'm checking my fluid level to make sure it is above the minimum, below the maximum, which is at a safe operating range. I'm checking all hoses coming to and from to make sure they have no abrasion, bulge, or cuts, no cracks, no dents, no leaks. I'm checking all electrical wiring to my low coolant sensor to make sure it's not cracked, torn, worn, or frayed. Alright, and no naked wire. Moving from there, I'm going to talk about my water pump. Okay, my water pump, properly mounted secure, no cracks, no dents, no leaks. My water pump is belt driven. Okay, I'm checking all hoses coming to and from my water pump to make sure they have no abrasion, bulge, or cuts, no cracks, no dents, no leaks, and the clamps are tight. Okay, checking my fuel water separator. Checking my fuel water separator to make sure it's properly mounted secure, has no cracks, no dents, no leaks. It is secure with the cap, and the cap is tight. Okay, I'm checking my fluid level to make sure that it is at a safe operating range, in which it is. Checking all hoses coming to and from to make sure they have no abrasion, bulge, cuts, no cracks, no dents, no leaks. I'm checking my power steering reservoir to make sure it is properly mounted secure, has no cracks, no dents, no leaks. I'm checking my caps to make sure the caps are secure and tight. I'm checking my fluid level to make sure I'm above the minimum, below the maximum, which is at the safe operating range. I'm checking all hoses coming to and from to make sure they have no abrasion, bulge, or cuts, no cracks, no dents, no leaks, and the clamps are tight. Okay. Now I'm checking my oil dipstick. Checking my dipstick to make sure it's properly mounted secure, no cracks, no dents, no leaks. I'm going to check my dipstick to make sure that my oil is above the minimum, below the maximum, which is a safe operating range, in which it is. If I need to add something, I'd add something right here in my add reservoir. Checking my add reservoir to make sure it's properly mounted and secure, no cracks, no dents, no leaks. I'm checking to make sure it has a cap and the cap is tight. Okay. Coming down here to my air compressor. Checking my air compressor. Make sure it's properly mounted and secure. No cracks, no dents, no leaks. My air compressor is gear driven. Okay. Checking all hoses coming to and from to make sure they have no abrasion, bulge, or cuts, no cracks, no dents, no leaks, and the clamps are tight, all hardware in place. Okay. Moving around, coming down here, I'm going to do my steering. I'm checking my steering shaft to make sure that it has not cracked, dent, bent, or broken. I'm checking my U-joint to make sure all hardware is in place, and I have no more than 10 degrees of play in my steering shaft. Okay. I'm checking my steering gearbox. Make sure it's properly mounted secure, has no cracks, no dents, no leaks. So I'm checking to make sure all hoses coming to and from have no abrasion, bulge, cuts, no cracks, no dents, no leaks, and the clamps are tight. I'm checking my pivot arm to make sure it's properly mounted and secure, and it is secure with a casting nut with a cotter pin. Okay. Checking my drag link to make sure it's not cracked, dent, bent, or broken. No illegal welds. And illegal welds, anything didn't come from the manufacturer. Checking my upper control arm to make sure it's properly mounted and secure with a casting nut and a cotter pin, all hardware in place. All right. Now I'm going to talk about my suspension. Checking my shock absorber to make sure it's properly mounted secure, it's not cracked, dent, bent, or broken, all hardware in place, and it is not leaking because there is packing grease in there. Okay. Checking my leaf spring hangers. Leaf spring hangers, make sure they're properly mounted secure, all hardware in place. I'm checking my leaf springs to make sure that they are properly mounted and secure. There are none missing. They're not cracked, dent, bent, or broken. None of them have any illegal welds, and illegal weld is anything that didn't come from the manufacturer. Okay. Checking my U-bolts to make sure both U-bolts are in place and they are secure with nuts on the bottom side on the cross member, and the nuts are tight, all hardware in place. And my leaf spring is sitting properly mounted and secure on top of the saddle, which is properly mounted and secure on the cross member. It is not cracked, dent, bent, or broken. No illegal welds, and illegal welds, anything didn't come from the manufacturer. Okay, now I'm going to my brake components. Checking my brake chamber to make sure it's properly mounted secure. It has no cracks, no dents, no leaks. Checking all hoses to make sure that they have no abrasion, bulge, cuts, no cracks, no dents, no leaks, and the clamps are tight. Checking my push rod cycle just to make sure they're properly mounted and secure, no cracks, no dents, no leaks. I'm making sure that I have no more than 1 inch play with the brakes released. I'm checking my brake drum to make sure it's not cracked, dent, bent, or broken, no signs of rust, no signs of an illegal weld. An illegal weld is anything that didn't come from the manufacturer. Okay, I'm checking my brake lining to make sure I see no signs of moisture or bloom, which would indicate that my brakes got hot. Checking my brake shoes to make sure they're properly mounted and secure, they're not cracked, dent, bent, or broken. Checking my brake pad to make sure I have no less than a 1/4 inch of brake pad. Okay, coming to the inside of my tire. Checking my rim. I'm checking my rim to make sure it's not cracked, dent, bent, or broken, no signs of rust. I'm checking the bead around the rim. Okay, make sure I have a nice tight seal on the inside of the tire. I'm checking the inside of the tire, make sure it has no abrasion, bulge, or cuts, no cracks, no dents, no leaks. I'm checking for any foreign objects. I don't want no nails or anything like that sticking out the side of my tire. Okay. Coming on top right here, I'm going to be checking the tread. Okay. First thing I'm going to be checking for is to make sure that I have a virgin tires, no recaps. Okay. Then I'm going to be checking to make sure that I have at least 4 30-seconds worth of tread on my steers. I'm checking to make sure I have even wear all the way around the tire and I have no flat spots. Checking the outside of the tire to make sure I have no abrasion, bulges, cuts, no cracks, no dents, no leaks. No foreign objects. Checking the bead on my tire to make sure I have no signs of moisture, no signs of rust, which would indicate a bad bead. Checking the outside rim to make sure it's not cracked, bent, bent, or broken, no illegal welds. An illegal weld is anything that didn't come from the manufacturer. Checking my lug nuts to make sure all 10 are present. I'm checking to make sure that all properly mounted and secure. If I had a loose lug nut, it would be indicated by shiny thread, shiny metal, or rust springs. Okay? Coming into my hub. Checking my hub to make sure it's properly mounted and secure, has no cracks, no dents, no leaks. I'm using my sight glass to make sure that my hub oil is at a safe operating range, in which it is. It's above the minimum, below the maximum. Okay? Next thing I'm going to be checking is my valve stem. Checking my valve stem right here to make sure it's properly mounted and secure, has no cracks, no dents, no leaks. It is secure with a metal cap, and the cap is tight, which reminds me to let you know that my tire is inflated to manufacturer spec. Any questions? Going to the other side. I'm going to start right here with my windshield wiper reservoir. Okay, I'm checking to make sure it's properly mounted and secure. No cracks, no dents, no leaks. It is secure with a cap, and the cap is tight. Checking my fluid level to make sure. That it is at a safe operating range, in which it is. Okay, it's above the minimum, below the maximum. Okay, coming over here, I'm checking my serpentine belt. Checking my serpentine belt to make sure it's not cracked, torn, worn, or frayed, and it is present. I'm making sure that it has no more than 3/4 inch play from the center. I'm checking my alternator to make sure it is properly mounted and secure. It's not cracked, dent in any way. All electrical lines coming to it are not cracked, torn, worn, or frayed, and are fully seated, all hardware in place. All right, and my alternator is belt driven. All right, I'm going to be checking my exhaust right now. I'm going to be checking my airflow into my turbo to my exhaust. I'm going to be checking to make sure it's properly mounted and secure, has no cracks, no dents, no leaks. I'm checking my sleeve to make sure it has no leaks. All clamps are tight. Okay, all hardware in place. If there was an event where I would have a leak on my turbo or my exhaust, it would be indicated by black soot. Okay, now I'm checking my frame. I'm checking my frame to make sure it's not cracked, bent, or broken. No signs of an illegal weld. An illegal weld is anything that didn't come from the manufacturer. Okay, all other like items I would inspect the same as I did on the other side. Okay, but before we continue on, the first 3 things I want to talk about is my safety equipment, because safety is uppermost in my mind. I'm going to talk about my fire extinguisher, which is properly mounted and secure. It is charged in the green. It is the proper rated fire extinguisher for the load that I'm carrying, and it has an up-to-date tag. I have 3 serviceable red reflective triangles, and I have extra fuses in case of a breakdown. Okay? All right. Does that kind of help y'all?
Yes, this is a 2016 Cascadia Freightliner.